All right, so are you ready to dive into a story where you have a YouTuber holding politicians accountable,
Oh, yeah.
and they're actually listening? We're talking about Mission Swaraj,
Okay.
a movement that's really shaking things up in Maharashtra, India.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see this kind of power shift. This YouTuber is taking inspiration from the legendary Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. He's issued this challenge to address some really critical issues in the region. And what's so interesting is the response from the political establishment.
Yeah, they're not just brushing him aside. We're seeing major players like Uddhav Thackeray's Shiv Sena faction,
Yeah.
the Congress Party,
hmm
and even Raj Thackeray's M&S party publicly accepting this challenge. So what do you make of that?
I think it suggests that they recognize the need to connect with voters in a different way. It tells us something about the current political climate in Maharashtra and this growing influence of citizen-led movements, especially those that are amplified by social media.
Yeah, and it's not just those parties, right? We're also seeing engagement from Congress leader Yashomati Thakur, NCP's Rohit Pawar, Samajwadi Party's Rais Sheikh, NCP's Dr. Amol Kolhe, Prahar Jan Shakti Party's Om Prakash Babarao Kadu, and even Prakash Ambedkar's Vanchit Bahujan Agadi. That's quite a diverse group.
Yeah, it is. And I think their willingness to engage with this YouTuber's challenge might indicate a shift in how politicians perceive and respond to citizen activism in the digital age. They see the potential power of this movement to sway public opinion.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Some key players are noticeably absent from this conversation. The BJP, Eknath Shinde's Shiv Sena faction, and Ajit Pawar's NCP faction, who together form what's known as the Mahayuti Alliance. They haven't said a word about this. What's your take on their silence?
Well, there are a few ways to interpret this. One possibility is that they see Mission Swaraj as insignificant, maybe even a publicity stunt, not worth their time or attention.
Okay, that's possible. But, ignoring it completely could backfire, right? Especially when this YouTuber is offering his support to parties willing to accept his challenge.
Exactly. And that brings us to another possible interpretation. Perhaps they feel confident that their current policies address the issues that the YouTuber is raising, and they just don't see the need to engage in this public display.
So they might see it as unnecessary grandstanding.
Possibly. Or maybe they disagree with the proposed solutions, or the involvement of specific experts that the YouTuber has recommended. Their silence could be a calculated move to avoid a potentially contentious debate.
It's a risky strategy, though, isn't it? It could make them seem out of touch or dismissive of the concerns of their constituents.
Absolutely. And it underscores, I think, a crucial element here: trust. Can these politicians be taken at their word? Will they follow through on these promises even after the elections are over?
That's a question a lot of people in many parts of India. And Maharashtra is no exception. It makes sense that this would be a priority. What about the remaining demands?
The fifth demand delves into the economic landscape, calling for the promotion of local small industries and ensuring employment opportunities for everyone. This suggests a focus on creating a more inclusive and diversified economy.
I'm sensing a theme here. These demands are all about empowering individuals and communities. What are the last two demands?
The sixth demand is for a clean Maharashtra, emphasizing civic responsibility and creating a healthier living environment. And finally, the seventh demand focuses on water conservation and management, promoting techniques like crop diversification to address water scarcity.
It seems like a very comprehensive and well-thought-out set of demands. But let's be realistic. How does this YouTuber expect these demands to be met?
Exactly. He's not just throwing out ideas. He's proposing a concrete path to implementation, and he's done his homework.
So let's talk about these experts. Who are they, and what makes them uniquely qualified to tackle these challenges?
Well, he's assembled a diverse team with a wide range of expertise. First on the list is Harat Bhushan-Tyagi, a Padma Shri awardee, a farmer and an educator who has trained over 80,000 farmers in Uttar Pradesh. His experience in grassroots agricultural development could be invaluable.
That's impressive. So he brings practical, on-the-ground experience. Who else is on this dream team?
Next, we have Dr. Ramanjana Yulu, an agricultural scientist known for his work on zero-budget natural farming. This approach emphasizes minimizing input costs and relying on natural resources, which could be particularly relevant to addressing the challenges faced by small-scale farmers in Maharashtra.
Zero-budget natural farming. That's an interesting concept. Can you elaborate on that a bit? I think our listeners would benefit from understanding what that entails.
Of course.
Who else is on it?
Well, next we have Sanam Wangchuk, the innovator and education reformer from Ladakh. He's best known for his work on creating sustainable solutions for water scarcity and promoting innovative educational practices in the challenging Himalayan environment.
So a combination of environmental expertise and educational innovation. That's quite a unique skill set.
Indeed. And it aligns well with the YouTuber's emphasis on addressing both water conservation and education in Maharashtra.
Okay, we're up to 7 experts now. Who are the final 3 on this list?
Next is Mahesh Chandra Mehta, an environmental lawyer and activist, who has been instrumental in protecting India's environment, including the Taj Mahal from pollution. He's a recipient of the Ramon Magsaysay Award, often considered Asia's equivalent of the Nobel Prize.
So legal heavyweight with a proven track record in environmental protection. That's a powerful addition to the team. Who else?
Then we have Afroz Shah, the lawyer turned environmentalist, known for his incredible efforts in cleaning up Versova Beach in Mumbai.
I've heard about that. It was a massive undertaking, right?
Yeah.
Transforming one of the most polluted beaches in Mumbai into a pristine coastline.
Exactly. He mobilized thousands of volunteers and spent years cleaning up tons of plastic and garbage. He's a true inspiration and a testament to the power of citizen action.
Wow. From legal battles to hands-on cleanup efforts, he's definitely a force of nature. Who's the last expert on the list?
Last but certainly not least, we have 2 individuals who exemplify grassroots leadership and sustainable development. First, there's Shyam Sundarjayani, who has planted over 2.5 million trees and received the UN's Land for Life Award for his contributions to combating desertification. And then there's Popatral Pawar, a visionary leader who transformed his village, Highway Bazaar, into a model of sustainability and prosperity.
So a champion of reforestation and a community leader who has demonstrated that sustainable development is achievable. This is an incredible lineup of experts, each bringing their unique skills and experiences to the table.
It really is, and it speaks to the YouTuber's commitment to finding practical, on-the-ground solutions to these complex challenges.
Okay, so we've got the 7 demands, and we've met the dream team of experts who could potentially help bring those demands to life. But how does this accountability plan actually work in practice?
Well, the YouTuber has proposed a clear timeline. Within 3 months of forming a government, the parties that have accepted the challenge, remember that's the Maha Vikas Agadi Alliance, would need to appoint these 10 individuals as official consultants.
So bring in the experts to provide guidance and expertise. What happens next?
Then, within 6 months, working alongside these consultants, the government would develop a detailed action plan outlining how they intend to address each of those 7 demands. And here's the key. This plan wouldn't be some secret document hidden away in a government office. It would be presented publicly to the people of Maharashtra.
So transparency is a key part of this plan.
Absolutely. The YouTuber is essentially saying, here are the problems, here are potential solutions, and here's how we can work together to make it happen. Now let's see some concrete action.
I have to admit, there's a refreshing directness to this approach. But let's play devil's advocate for a moment. What are some potential obstacles?
You're right. It's important to be realistic. Politics, as we know, can be quite messy, and there are certainly challenges ahead. For starters, getting all 10 of those experts to commit to this project might not be easy. They're all busy, highly sought-after individuals. Convincing them to take on this challenge, even for a limited time, could be a hurdle.
That's a valid point. What other challenges do you foresee?
Then there's the question of political will. Even with a well-crafted plan and a team of experts, will the government truly commit to implementing the necessary changes? Will they allocate the resources needed? Will they be able to overcome the inevitable bureaucratic hurdles?
Yes. The infamous bureaucracy. Always a potential roadblock. And let's not forget about potential pushback from groups or individuals whose interests might be threatened by these reforms.
Exactly. There could be powerful forces that resist change, who benefit from the status quo. There could be political maneuvering, compromises, and delays. Navigating this complex terrain will require strong leadership, unwavering commitment, and the ability to build consensus.
So it's not a guaranteed win. There are plenty of things that could derail this movement. But what if it works? What if this YouTuber-driven initiative actually manages to bring about real change?
I think that's a really intriguing question. What would success look like in this scenario? Not just for Maharashtra, but for the future of citizen engagement in India and beyond.
Yeah, what would that look like?
Well, just imagine a Maharashtra where farmer suicides are a thing of the past, where quality education and healthcare are accessible to everyone, where the air is clean, and local businesses are thriving. That's the vision this YouTuber is putting forward.
It's a compelling vision, and I think one that resonates with a lot of people. But achieving those goals would require a fundamental shift in the way things are done right. It's not just about tweaking existing policies. It's about systemic change.
You're absolutely right. It would require a government that's truly committed to serving the needs of its people, a government that's willing to listen to experts,
Hmm.
to embrace innovative solutions, and to prioritize transparency and accountability.
And it would also require an active and informed citizenry, people who are engaged in the political process, who hold their leaders accountable, and who demand better for themselves and their communities.
Exactly. It's about a partnership between the government and the governed, a shared responsibility for creating a better future. And that's what makes this Mission Swaraj movement so fascinating. It's not just about one YouTuber or one set of demands. It's about a larger shift in the relationship between citizens and those in power.
Yeah, it's about reclaiming the idea of Swaraj,
Yeah.
which, as you mentioned earlier, is inspired by the ideals of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Yeah. It's about self-governance,
Yeah.
about people having a say in how they are governed.
Precisely. And technology is playing a crucial role in this shift. Social media, in particular, has given citizens a platform to voice their concerns, to connect with like-minded individuals, and to mobilize for change.
It's given them a voice that can't be ignored, a way to bypass traditional power structures and demand to be heard.
And that's a powerful thing. But like any tool, social media has its downsides. We have to be mindful of the potential for misinformation to spread, for echo chambers to form, and for complex issues to be oversimplified.
It's a double-edged sword, for sure, but I think the potential benefits outweigh the risks, especially when we see movements like Mission Swaraj emerging. It's inspiring to see people using these tools to demand better for themselves and their communities.
It is. It's a reminder that change doesn't always come from the top down. Sometimes it starts with a single voice, a bold idea, and the will to make a difference.
And the courage to challenge the status quo. It's also worth noting that while this Mission Swaraj movement is focused on Maharashtra, its implications extend far beyond the borders of that state. This is a story that people are watching all across India. Wow. And even internationally.
Yeah, it's a case study in the power of citizen activism in the digital age. It's showing us what's possible when people come together and demand accountability from their leaders.
And it's raising important questions about the future of democracy itself. How can we harness the power of technology to create more inclusive and responsive forms of governance? How do we ensure that everyone has a voice in the decisions that affect their lives?
Those are questions that we need to be asking ourselves, not just in India, but all around the world.
So what's the key takeaway for our listeners today? What do we want them to walk away with after this deep dive into Mission Swaraj?
Well, the message I hope people take from this is simple. Stay informed, stay engaged, and don't underestimate the power of your voice. The tools for change are at your fingertips. Use them wisely, and together we can build a better future.
Beautifully said. This has been an incredibly thought-provoking deep dive into Mission Swaraj, a story that's still unfolding before our eyes. It's a testament to the power of citizens, the potential of technology, and the evolving nature of democracy itself. We encourage you to follow this story, form your own opinions, and most importantly, stay engaged.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.